Welcome to the RSP Boiler Room. I'm Matt Waldman with the Rookie Scouting Portfolio. Today we're going to take an extended look at Mitch Trubisky, a player who I've looked at a couple of times before in shorter segments of the Boiler Room to pinpoint some things that I thought were notable about his game. Some of them were negative, but we're going to look at some of the more positive aspects of his game that make him a prospect that is in consideration as one of the top tier guys in this quarterback class. And first a little note. Some of my listeners and watchers from the RSP Film Room have noted that, at least in one of the analysis I did on Trubisky, that he was playing during a hurricane or hurricane conditions with rain and wind. And I just want to reassure everyone that one of the first things that I look at when I study players and that I note is the weather. So I'm fully aware that he was playing in wind and rainy conditions. It's important to be able to note some of those things. Gerard Evans was also playing in wind and rainy conditions in that game, and there were some noteworthy things about his game that actually were better in contrast in some regards to what Trubisky was doing. So I just want to keep that in mind, that I'm not blind to weather or injury situations or things like that. And if I'm going to note something on a broadcast like this, I have taken those things into consideration. But I do appreciate the feedback nonetheless. So let's get started with Trubisky. And one of the things that's very notable about him is, while he's not a star and on the caliber as a runner that you would see from a guy like Michael Vick or Russell Wilson or Cam Newton or Robert Griffin, he can run the football, and he's a mobile guy who can gain yards if you give him that opportunity. And we're going to see that obviously here against NC State. We're going to watch this out of read option play, watch him break the tackle of the defensive end, and then show the speed to beat this safety who's come up and get a decent burst here for about 15, 16 yards and get past him at about the 20-yard mark, and he's going to force the backside linebacker to run him down. But you're looking at 34, 35-yard type of gain here. It's a nice chunk of yards for a guy who's primarily a pocket passer. So he's dangerous enough that while a team's not going to spy on him, he is fast enough to be able to make a defense pay if there's an open crease. And while this play here isn't a dramatic display of his arm talent, I think it's a nice display of his ability to use his arm in different ways as a thrower of the ball. This is a sprint left play, and you see him, just deliver this ball about 12 to 15 yards downfield with a little bit of a sidearm action moving to his left. Doesn't go for a big gain, but you can kind of get a chance to see that he can throw the ball with a variety of arm slots. One of the areas of his game that I like a lot when he does it well is his ability to maneuver around pressure. Either play with interior pressure. You got the read option going on here, and he's going to feel the pressure coming to the inside here. And there's some coming to the outside as well, but he notices at least this interior pressure. And watch him slide. He does a decent job of resetting, getting the ball out, and a catchable throw about 20 yards downfield on this dig route that's dropped. But you can see that he's capable of resetting and firing with enough accuracy for a pass to be caught. And we're going to see it on this next play as well. You've got this interior pressure coming hard. This is we're going to watch it one more time with this linebacker coming up. Got this linebacker coming off the edge inside the tackle, letting the tight end go free here. Now you would think this might be the easy throw. I would say this was probably the easiest throw to make, but he has his eyes on his slot receiver all the way. And look at this opposite hash throw while he's getting creamed. Right over the shoulder. I mean, this is a nice throw. You're talking about a 13-yard pass from the line of scrimmage. Well, more than that, a 13-yard pass from the line of scrimmage, and and you're looking at over 20 yards from the pitch point. Look at this one more time. I mean, and he fires it well. He's got his feet in a stance where he can kind of slingshot it with his chest and shoulders to get that power from that planted way. You see Jameis Winston do this a fair bit. And you get good velocity, good location over the shoulder, caught in stride. And Switzer's not a receiver you want to give him the ball catching it in stride because he can make you pay. This is a nice gain past midfield from a play inside the 25 under heavy pressure. You can see that's a pro caliber throw right there. This here is a terrific play. I mean, this is a 3rd and 10. They're down by 14 in this game. You've got cover 2 revealing itself, at least on this side here. You're going to see that pretty clearly. You've got a little bit of, you got this defender over top playing off coverage. You got the safety over top here. And you see that kind of get into position early on in the route or in the snap. See that safety back away a little bit more. And you see Trubisky look to the middle. He's looking at the safety. You're going to see the pressure come up the middle here. And he knows his pressure's coming. But he does a good job of standing in there. He sees that his receiver's going to break open. And he makes that throw with pressure arriving and fits it right in that hole. First down. This is the kind of throw that you're going to want to see a quarterback make on a regular basis. It's not a huge throw, but you're looking at, about 24, 25 yards down the field from the pitch point. You want to be able to hit that, and he does. Now here's Trubisky in a really nice play off the edge. Got that read option look, edge pressure coming around his left, and look at his ability to duck under this. I mean, this is a good job, whether he hears the pressure, feels it, sees it. Look at him slide away, reset. Now, he doesn't reset extremely well here, but he's got pressure coming from the inside. Fires the ball out of bounds. Really trying to fire it at best, is only where the receiver can catch it. And at worst, just out of bounds. But on a 1st and 10, smart play. Throw the ball out of bounds. But to avoid this pressure like this, that close, and to be able to make that move, that's good stuff. While I've seen Trubisky throw the ball away a couple of times in this game, which is good when you're under pressure, sometimes you need to let the ball just throw it away and live for another play. But this is a play where I've seen him do this a little too often. He trusts his athletic ability and arm to the point where when he has interior pressure and he's trying to slide away and he sees a crossing route, that he's going to throw it across his body, leaning away from the defender. And this is the type of throw that's fine to make if you're at the sideline. You're only throwing to the sideline and there's no defender behind you. But when you're throwing it and there's 2 defenders behind the receiver, and you're going to have a chance for a lot of error because of the fact that you're not throwing from a balanced position, this could wind up being an interception. Now it doesn't. It's about a yard shy of that. But if this receiver doesn't get his hand on it, it's likely intercepted by one of these 2 players. And you're already down 28-7 at the end of the 3rd quarter. This is not the type of play that you need to be making or forcing and trying to be a hero here. And this is the type of thing that with a guy who has Trubisky's level of athletic ability, he's going to have to mature and realize that this is not the kind of throw to make. If anything, he should have just continued to the right and looked for either this crossing route or thrown the ball out of bounds to the right and just said, fine, we're at 2nd and 20. There are also things about Trubisky that remind me of Blake Bortles, and you're going to see this right here. He climbs from pressure reasonably well. He's able to flush to the right side and throw the ball and find that open zone on the move. And he throws this ball from about the 27 to the open area at the 30, at the 25. So you're looking at really a 48-yard throw on the move, a little off balance, it's not a beautiful pinpoint throw. The receiver's not able to continue running down the field, but he finds that open spot. The thing is about this play is that I really would have liked him maybe reset and fire this ball. And he would have maybe been able to get another 5 yards on this throw, lead the receiver downfield in this spot right about here in stride, and this could have been a touchdown. Here he could begin slowing down a little bit. Now he may end up getting hit here, but I think that if he slowed down a little bit, this defender is going to probably end up overrunning Bortles' angle. Not Bortles, Trubisky's angle. You can tell who I kind of see him as in some respects. But you can see it's a good identification of the open zone. But the control, you want to see a little bit more control out of this throw. A little more control with his feet and be a little more patient with it. Now this is a heck of a play. You're going to watch 1st and 10. They're down by 14 in this game. Got your little play fake. You got your pressure coming up the right side. Does a good job of climbing. And now he's resetting and firing. And you've got this ball coming out at about the 47. And caught in stride at about the 2. So you're looking at really about, I don't know. This is close to a 50-yard throw here in stride. Receiver doesn't even have to slow down. He catches it, maybe at the 2 or the 1 here. About 52 yards maybe, pinpoint. I mean, he sees it all the way here. And he's patient with it. Good trajectory, good velocity. Back in the game. Here's a nice little look at it from the red zone. You got that play fake. He's going to climb. And look at him. He had that little look during that climb off to the safety to the left. Watch the little look off here. See that? See where his head is? Turned a little bit. It was turned a little bit to the left before he goes back to the right and throws that ball. And it gets that number 24 turned around. You see how 24 is scrambling to go back. Because he thinks, I've got to account for number 82. And he saw the little look off just before that. Then it's back to the right. This is also a decent play because you're looking at him read the field a little bit. He does 2 reads here. You're going to watch him do the read option fake. He's going to look to his left. Now number 7's got inside position, and he looks at that route and he realizes pretty quickly at this point that the defender's got advantageous position because number 7 Prohl is actually trying to run to the outside, and this is what you would call a capped route covered by the defender. So he looks back to his right, sees Switzer working on the cross, and he's open, fires the ball with good anticipation near 1st down. Now here's the thing, they're back in this game, 3rd and 20. It's going to end up with a wide open opportunity here to Prohl number 7 on a deep corner route that's going to be 23 yards if he makes this reception. But it's up to the quarterback to set his feet and throw the ball. 5-step drop, turns outside. Never really, he was hopping so much on his feet that this throw here, don't like the stance. Ball sails. Watch it again. Feet are not too wide, but they're never really set here so that when he steps to throw, he's got a wide stance that he's throwing through. And it's about a yard or two too far. I mean, it's a long throw that you're going to be making here, looking at, to the 28, about a 33-yard throw. This is the type of throw that needs to be made. It's wide open. You've got room in the pocket to get your feet set and not rush it. But I find that he rushes his process a little too much in pivotal situations. He's got to slow his mind down a little bit. Saw it against Florida State. Saw it against Stanford. Here we are against NC State. Got to slow down the mind a little bit so that your details can be in order. Because it's a little wide from the get-go. When he starts to bring that left foot around, it was already wide in the first place. Just a little bit. This doesn't look wide here. Doesn't look wide here. But look how wide that is right here. And this is a tough throw for a lot of quarterbacks, to turn to the far side of the field and deliver the ball with good mechanics. DeShone Kizer has a similar problem. But Kizer, on the other hand, I noticed that he has this problem more on short throws. On deep throws, he's borderline magnificent at times. Got to see a little bit more of this from Trubisky. He's got to slow down that process. And here we are again, 4th and 20. Has a wide open Bug Howard here between the safety and the corner. And watch the stride. It's a little wider than shoulder length, a little wider than what you'd like. Look how wide it is now. This is his throwing motion before he's fully delivering the ball. It's wide. When the feet are wide like this, it's going to sail. And it sails just enough that it forces Howard to make a leaping catch. Now, Howard should have caught this ball. It's right in the general area. This is general accuracy. Good general accuracy, I would maybe even call it, if you want to give it more of a qualifier. But it's not pinpoint. Because it's not pinpoint, the receiver has to make a tough catch. He drops the ball. Game pretty much over at this point. But he could have really kept this thing alive. And, I'm being very nitpicky about Bortles on this play. But when you have a stance that's wide and it's consistent in his game, you're seeing the difference between, you're looking at game-altering plays here. These are game-altering plays that happen 2 to 3 times in every game in the NFL. And if you're not on point with your mechanics and you're not precise at the time where it's most important, think of free throws in the NBA at the end of games. You might be an 85% free throw shooter, and that may sound like a good number in college. But in the NBA, when the game's on the line late, these little details of your mechanics matter. You've got to be more consistent, or else you're going to wind up with more difficult plays. It's already a pressure situation. As a quarterback, the best quarterbacks make the plays easier for their teammates. That's not an easy play. Should have been caught, but a little bit shorter stride. And this ball's caught in stride as opposed to a diving attempt. And then we're talking about a different ball game. Let's take a little bit of a look at the Duke game here. You're going to see some of those nice tools come into play here. A little bit of a bungled play action. He recovers that. He looks to his left, doesn't see what needs to be open here. He's feeling the pressure off the edge a little bit, knows what's out there is capped, turns around, goes to the opposite side of the field. And we're looking at about a 31-yard throw from pitch to catch on the comeback in tight coverage, inbounds. And you see that while the stance is wide, he gets his feet under him when he makes his turn. If he would do this a little bit more often, make sure that his feet are under him so that when he makes this throw, he's balanced, he's going to be far more successful. It's there for him to do. He's just got to be more mindful. A little more practiced, maybe. And it really is about practice with footwork, because look at this footwork here against pressure. It's got, you know, pressure come from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7-man pressure. Quick 3-step drop. Plants gets his feet under him, fires the ball even with pressure under him, fires it with an anticipation, and hits that out for a first down on 3rd and 10. This is a sweet play. This is the kind of play you got to make, and he does it with the receiver before the top of his break. By the time he turns around, the ball's in the air. First down, 11 yards. 7 men coming. Doing it with pressure up the middle in his face. This is good stuff. He just needs to be better with these feet on a consistent basis. When he does it, he looks like a pro quarterback. Here's another pretty throw. You know he's got the deep arm. You can see the arm talent here. Watch this opposite hash throw. I'm seeing him consistently deliver high level general accuracy to pinpoint accuracy on opposite hash throws or deep throws in the vertical game. And you're looking here, opposite hash from the 44, let's say, to about the 5, and he throws it a little bit inside. That's fine. He leads him inside enough that the receiver can turn and shield from the defender to the inside and make the play. So I would call this an accurate throw, and we're looking at, you know, a 51-yard play, 51-yard throw, should have been caught. Prohl drops a number of these in this game. He dropped a 35-yard touchdown. He also got interfered with. He also got a little bit of a interference there, maybe on a level, you might say. A little bit of a grab. Got away with it. But you can see the arm strength is definitely not a problem. But this is what people are going to love and hate about Mitch Trubisky. It's the willingness to make some of these hero throws. Scrunched up against his lineman, firing that ball from the 22 to the 46, 24-yard throw to the opposite hash, on time where it needs to be. But this is the kind of hubris that can get a guy in trouble, and the ball can wind up sailing if he's just hit a little bit more on this play. If a little more contact was made while he's throwing this, it would have altered it even more. And look what's behind him here. If this ball's a little higher, dangerous play. Good play in the box score. Not so good when you're thinking about decision making in this respect. See what I'm saying? Ball goes through. 28 has himself a nice little play here if Trubisky's bumped just a little more and the ball sails. Here's another one of those heroic decisions that you go, why are you doing this? Good job avoiding pressure, but you're going to sling this ball into the middle of the field to your receiver on this crossing route with someone behind him. 3 players really behind him. Throw this ball out of bounds. Don't try and be a hero. 2nd and 10. Tie game. Don't be a hero. Got plenty of time. And you're probably gonna hear about arm slots with Trubisky. Like, if he doesn't throw it with that great mechanics of totally over the shoulder all the time, and that can get him into trouble. Yes, it can. Is it something that I think might be overemphasized to a degree? Probably, but here's a play where that can happen. 3-quarter motion, gets tipped at the line, interception. We're going to see it from the end zone point of view, and you're going to see what happens, a close-up of that shot. See how the hand is sideways like this, the forearm's out like this? You don't have the elbow really up, you have it pointing outward. The ball's not being released at as high of a platform as it could be. If it was released at a higher platform, what you would wind up seeing is a ball that, instead of coming out there, is probably about where my cursor is. And if it's about here, neither of these guys are going to get a hand on it, but the receiver probably would. And here we go again. Look at this. 111 left, down by 1, inside your own 20. You're looking down the field. You don't find anything right away. You're directing your receiver into the right flat. You got pressure coming. And instead of sliding to your left or rolling to your right, he gets impatient and he fires the ball off his back foot with a jump pass. A jump pass from the 8. Guess what's going to happen? Yeah, it's going to sail. Center field. Game over. Again, I like what he does through the first 3.5 quarters of games oftentimes. I even like what he does sometimes in the last 5 minutes of a game in many respects. But it seems like when there's a crucial moment and you can induce him to be the hero and try and be overly athletic rather than be patient, defenses get away with it. There you go. Mitch Trubisky for you. Good and bad. Couldn't stay away from some of the bad. But that's the case for most prospects entering this draft, is that it's not an open and shut case. If you're really being realistic about quarterback prospects, what you're looking for is, do they have the baseline skills to develop into NFL starting quarterbacks? And then the next question is, are they going to be matched with a team, a scheme, coaches, and surrounding talent that can help them maximize the talents that we see on film right now? Because there's a lot at play that goes beyond the technical or the athletic with quarterbacks. It includes emotional toughness, resiliency, discipline, work ethic, leadership, ability to learn fast, ability to deal with pressure, both on and off the field. These things are going to get magnified to a huge extent. And a lot of these players, no matter how talented they are, those things can break them. They've come close to breaking some great quarterbacks that we know as great quarterbacks now. Steve Young certainly was close to being broken, getting a bad start with the USFL and then with Tampa Bay. You don't have the surrounding talent, you don't have the time or the coaching. It took him 7 years sitting behind Joe Montana for his career to be reclaimed. So keep that in mind. He has the baseline skills to be a starter in this league. The bigger question is what's going to happen over the next couple of years and where he goes. Thanks again for watching. I'm Matt Waldman with the RSP Film Room. You can check out my blog at www.mattwaldmanrsp.com. You can also check out more Film Room and Boiler Room episodes at my YouTube channel, the RSP Film Room.